I've been grinding all week. It's an exciting time. It's a very exciting time. Wait for it. Really? Ugh. Anyway, subject of the video, the good old map of Middleburg. I haven't done any real tactical reviews on maps, so I'm going to start doing them, and I hope that they help people. I don't get it right the whole time, but let's see. So I'm going to show you playing down. I'm going to show you playing up. I'm going to show you playing up and down. So that's some crazy stuff. So the first game I'm going to play down. Now, why, you ask, if we're talking TicTaks or Middleburg? Well, first off to say, I hate playing down, but this is a supremacy game. So for a start, you've got two caps that are down, so you can build cap pressure by going down. For a second start, if you look at the lineup of the team, and I know it's basic, but you must do it beginning of every game, we are predominantly heavy. We are predominantly immobile in what we can do. And certainly there are no more immobile tanks than the T28 Prot. It is the most immobile tank after, you know, the sort of AT line. It's bloody awful, bloody thing. Trying to grind past it. But for all of that, you can get results out of it. So I've gone down. The IS-3's gone down. We've got an AT-15. What good is that going to do up on hill? If it had gone up, it wouldn't be up there. It would still be trundling along. So we're going to have to push down. We haven't got much option as a team. And I'm showing this game because it shows you effectively how you can, as a team, push down. And you can actually, you know, clear the town area out with relative ease, especially if the red guys have divided up, you know, so it's enabled us to bully the defender. The second kind of reason we win this game is we get lucky, and I'll expand on this in subsequent games. But the red team have been a bit stupid. I mean, I've got a stupid IS-3 in my ass. Why? Thanks, bud. Thank you. It's hard enough driving this tank as it is. But we've been lucky because look what they've done. They went up predominantly. But what they've done is they've come down. And I know this is like basic shit, but they've come down. They had a position of power up by sea. Fair enough. Look at the where the Prot is where he should be, firing down into cap and giving me a hard time. But effectively, they've made the mistake of coming down the hill to engage us. They've had to because of the cap pressure, but in an encounter battle, never ever do what they've done. Except that you're going to lose a couple of heavies who have been stupid enough to go down and fight a predominantly heavy team, but sit up and fire down into the cap area. There is no point in going up towards sea and then coming down the hill. There is no point at all. You need to force the team in the town to play defence, and oftentimes they can't. They really genuinely can't. So easy winning the Prot. I mean, how often do I get to say that? But that's an example of playing down. It can work, boys and girls, especially if the team is extremely heavy and you push together and you push through. And to be fair, the opposition are quite, well, what's the right word? Stupid. So, second game. This is Middleburg, seen from a completely different angle in a completely different tank type, playing up. And I would strongly argue if you're driving something like a standard B, and I see people drive meds and lights into the town area the whole time and frontline them, I don't get it. I would strongly recommend if you're in a light or a medium tank that you play up. But here's the caveat. Again, you've got to look at the lineup of the team and you've got to see where they're going. Because if I go up here in a standard B on my own, and look, I'm the only person who started on the light med side. Everything else is heavy, right? So they are well within their rights not to follow me up here. Now, I'm fortunate in the sense that I can ask for help, but if I get up to this point on the map and you don't want to push any further than I've pushed here, you really don't. If you find the whole red team, they're going to wreck you. I'm just going to sit here and wait, and I'm going to see if the good guys are going to come and help or if they want to push down. That's not my decision. I've made a suggestion as to where I would quite like to go, and that suits me and my tank type. Of course I'm being selfish, but I'm also looking at the team here. And what I can see immediately pretty much is there's nothing spotted on my right, so there's nothing up towards C. There might be a random, but if you look, I've got a hill on my left now, and I can look down into cap, and I'm thinking about a reset, but frankly, whoever was on cap has already moved off. The two heavy tanks on our team that have gone down are going to get wrecked, and this is what I said in the previous video. They are going to get wrecked. You can't save them, boys and girls. You just can't. You're going to have to resign yourself to the fact you're going to be 2 tanks down before you start, and that's life. They should have moved their asses. But what usually happens is if you play defence from up here, see that object 268U? They push out. They push out of hard cover every single frickin' time just about, and you've got shots for laughs up here on the hill. And all you've got to do is the polar opposite. Look at that bullshit shot off the IS-5. I can't hit anything in that tank, by the way, and he hits me across the map through the turret. Come on. Anyway, all I'm saying is all you've got to do is play defence and wait for them to make a mistake. You don't need to go down. The M103's done the classic, I'm going to go down their thing, and like he's going to, well, he's not going to get wrecked, but he's, or she, in fact, Chloe, is like in a bad place there. For all of that, it's a tier 9 heavy. It's holding up well, and it's also enabling me to get shots onto the defender, which is going to tunnel me, which is absolutely well and good. I'll take him down to nothing, and the M103 can clear him. And I know this isn't dynamic gameplay, but you take my point. If you're going to bother to push up towards C, why surrender this position and go down again? There is no point. There is no point. You can sit up in a tank like this. You can re-camo, you can very calmly reload your clip, and you can take your time picking your shots. It's got a very, very accurate gun. And for all of that, we're now on a 4-on-4. And think about the beginning of the game. We lost our 2 heavies for nothing. But there's no need to panic and YOLO down there and lose all your hit points and lose the game. All you got to do is be patient and sit up. And right enough, if they want to come out of hard cover, you can hit them from the top, no worries. And if they want to push up, well, you saw in the T28 game, when you're looking up at stuff firing down at you, it's an extremely hard push to make. You're going to sacrifice a lot of hit points trying to get up that hill if the green team are any good, or the red team are any good in this case. And here we go. So we've got the waffle, I believe, left, and then we've got RSU 130 PM, who I want to keep alive, because he or she has had an absolutely cracking game and done exactly what I'm talking about. Hasn't done anything radical, has just sat up there and taken the hit points of the red team systematically. Bam, off goes the waffle, and we're just left with the K91, and we know where the K91 is, right? The K91 did exactly what I'm talking about. It pushed out to the right of the town, it left hard cover, and it got wrecked along with the object 268 or 262U. So we know exactly where it is. My hit points are fine. I could take 1 shot off it. I don't want to sit in front of it and get free out the clip. And I'm just going to ask the SU, who's clearly very much got a brain, to hold up whilst I go around the map and spot this damn thing up. I asked the M103 to hold as well, if you look here. But the M103 is not for holding, and, well, fair enough, I guess. Has actually had a good game. We couldn't have won the game without the M103 actually doing what it did, or, you know, holding up as well as it did. Probably, you know, would have been a same result if it had just stayed up and fired down. But anyway, whichever. There's the K91. Bam. Gone. Don't you love my shitty ping, by the way? Fantastic. I love playing with shitty ping in fast-moving tanks. But there you go. So that's Middleburg playing up. I mean, no problem at all. Once you've got that position, the amount of times I see people surrender it for no apparent reason is amazing. You don't have to YOLO down that hill into the town and play the opposition's game. That's what they want you to do. Don't do it if there's no need. Now, Blitz isn't if you talk TicTaks in Blitz, it isn't a thing of absolutes, right? There is no right or wrong, and there is no my tank's particularly good in this position, therefore I'm going to put my tank in this position. Of course it helps, but it's a team game. It's no good driving to your spot in your tank just because that's an effective spot for your tank and not looking at the opposition or what your own team's doing. But I am going to push up because I've got an E50. I can get some cheap damage off the standard B just by poking up there, and I'm going to support the E50 as long as I can. The standard B is clearly there to be farmed, and I'm sorry it sounds awful, but if you play this game enough, you sort of know the players who don't know what they're doing, and the standard B really doesn't know what he's doing. He's pushing on an E50 with a T54 sat behind it. It's not going to end well. But for all of that, if you start to look at the map, once we clear this standard B and this Sheridan, we are going to be in deep crap because their heavies have come up. So I'm going to basically bugger off because look where the rest of the green team are. They're down. So I'm going to bugger off. There's no point in fighting out C with a bunch of heavies and TDs and all sorts of nasty things. So what I can then do is drop down, and this is sort of measured tactics. I've seen the AMXs pretty much clipped out. I can just go and bully the hell out of the damn thing and get that cleared. Bam. Good. They're left with 3 tanks. Excellent. What have we got? We've got a Conch, we've got an A100, and what else? Something else. I don't know what the hell. Anyway, look. Now I'm going to go up, and again you can see the perspective of playing up. And if you must go up, what you kind of need to do is try and turn them. And I'm going to try and turn this Conch. I don't want to push on past him because I'll likely get slotted off the E100. I want to reverse up behind that hill. But I've clearly buggered that up because I'm a noob. But I'm going to try and pull him down. And right enough, he just buys it. He just buys it hook, line and sinker. He should have stayed where he was. Hold down, no worries at all. Now I can get into the side of the Jaegeru, if I could aim, and I can get into the side of the Death Star. And he ain't hitting me with that dispersion at that speed. And I can get round the back of him, and obviously from here, it's done. The game is done. So my point is, by showing a game where I've gone up and indeed down, is that it's not necessarily one or the other. You've got to adapt your tactics. I'd suggest in a light or a med to definitely go up, at least at first. If the whole enemy team, you know, makes a push, then because you're driving a light or a med, you can just bugger off. You don't have to face them. If it doesn't suit you, you can go. So overall, Middleburg played 3 ways. There's no right or wrong way, but what I will say is generally percentage play is up unless you're in a T28 Pro, which is just ridiculous. You'll be after the game getting up there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on tactics, the sort of walkthrough I did on the games, and I hope there is some use because this map's played quite badly, to be honest. Alright, see ya, bye.